from what I look for the first day, when you talk about communication, guys working together, being on the same page, we achieved that today. Now, as I mentioned to our guys, is how do you build on the next day? And that's what you look for in camp. It's a steady build, and how do you continue to improve each day?
You made a lot about the pre-snap for OTAs. How did you see the success you said you had that carry over to here compared to last year?
Offensively, we've done a really good job today. Pre-snap was excellent. Guys were on it. Guys were getting the line properly. Guys were playing fast, and that's all I expect from all three phases. We want to be a fast, aggressive team. To do that, you really have to own the communication, the huddle. That's where it starts. We own that process the right way. We'll get to the line of scrimmage. We'll play fast.
With the progress your team has made over the last 3 years, what are your expectations for the squad entering this new year?
Each year for me is different when we speak about expectations, right? My expectations have been high. Year one, they were high. Year two is, when you guys ask me about expectations, the only thing I know is high expectations. That's why we do what we do, right? To achieve the ultimate goal. So it's a process, it's a build to get there, and we're not afraid of the work that it takes to be put in to get there, and that's what we're achieving day by day. We'll keep chopping one day at a time to be our best come week one.
Coach, I know it's early, but what are some of the things you're looking forward to seeing from your running back group?
From the running back group, I'm excited to see the guys, just how fast they're playing. I see Woody, he looks faster. He's making more decisive decisions like cuts. Jawar's looking good. Of course, Montgomery has done a really good job. So a really good room of running backs, and I'm just excited to see them continue to improve on those fine details. Like, can we improve in our reads? Can we improve in our pass protection? Can we improve in the screen game as well? So I'm just excited to see the growth of that group throughout camp.
Nico, what are the challenges that Keelan faces as he tries to compete for a starting job and possibly at a position he hasn't quite played before?
Yeah. When you come out to camp, everybody's competing. So our rookies, if you just attack it the right way, as I tell somebody has to be rookie of the year. All right, rookies play well every single year, and it's not where you're trying to go out and attain that. It's just, man, are you just locked in on the small details, what the coaches are asking you to do every day? You have a competitive spirit, right? You have a willingness and a want to succeed and do great, you're going to do that. So for all of our rookies, Keelan, Marlon, everybody, right, they just have to come out and just work hard at their craft, and they'll be exactly where we need them to be.
Your linebacker, you've got a bunch of guys behind Aziz and Henry. What's kind of the charge for those guys as you try to figure out who slots in behind Aziz and Henry?
With the linebacker spot, we're in a really good situation with Aziz and Henry. Those guys have played a lot of ball together. They're very tight. You can see the connection on the field that they have off the field. That's a really great group of guys. I enjoy seeing those guys work. I enjoy seeing their leadership. To see the way Henry and Aziz communicate daily, it's been fantastic to watch. So those guys who are taking reps behind them, they just have to look at those two guys and see their leadership, see how they approach every day with a positive attitude. They want to be great every play. If those guys attack that, the roster, it'll sort itself out.
You know what it's like to have a contract or an extension looming, over your head. From a head coach standpoint, what was some of the advice that you gave to CJ to tell him, block that out and, block that part of the business aspect out of it and just come to play?
When it comes to contracts, I really don't get into a lot of deep discussions with guys when it comes to the contract situation, because I truly believe the contract is, you get the contract by what you do on the field. It doesn't matter about what you say, what I say. It's about how you perform on the field. If you're worthy of getting a contract and you deserve it, it'll happen for you. But if you're worried about it, worrying is not going to change anything, right? It's about the actions, about you put in, and it's about your body of work and experience of what you've shown. It's not about just one moment. When you get into contract negotiations, it's about the entirety of your work. Wide receiver room, they continue to impress every day. Someone different making a play, every day. So it's an exciting room, I think, for us to see how they develop throughout camp. But I'm excited to see, not only them performing in camp, but also just to see them get into some live preseason games, right? We put a lot on our wide receivers when it comes to coming out of the huddle, a line in motion. We put a lot on their plate. So your mental game has to be on point to play wide receiver, and then you have to be physical and grimy enough to block in a running game to make our team. So we have a lot of guys who have that mindset. So it's just, it all sort itself out.
I know Tank's not quite ready to fully practice with you guys, but how impressed have you been with the work that he's put in to even get back to this point after all he's been through?
I missed what you said.
Tank.
Oh, Tank. Yeah, Tank. We're excited for Tank to just get back out here in the training camp. He's on his own ramp-up schedule, but it's excited to just have him. He's eager to go. And the thing for Tank is, Tank is a smart player. We know how dynamic Tank was when he was out there, but again, he hasn't played ball in over 2 years. So it's important for him and to get those. We do our walkthroughs to get those reps, get in the huddle, get the call, get out of the huddle, go line up fast, adjust, and motion. So it's important for him to get all of those reps because he's missed so much time of playing football. So, my mindset there is to get him as much football as possible and build him up until he's able to get into our team drills. And we'll see how he progresses next week to see if he's able to get out there or not.
Going back to March, when it first became known to you all that David Montgomery might become available, what in particular intrigued you about him?
What intrigued me most about David Montgomery was going against him, seeing the success that he's had, seeing the nature at which he runs the ball. He fits the brand of football that I want to play. And we know it's no secret that we needed to improve our running game. It's not been good enough since I've been here. It hasn't been good enough. So to make improvements in the running game, you have to get players who can run it. And that's what David, he's shown the success. No matter where he's been, he's always been successful running the football. And just to see the way he works every day, positive guy, dialed in, on the details, a great guy. We couldn't have added a better guy for our running back room, for our offense, just the way he's as business-like with his approach.
With the excellent on the side of this offense, what are some of the differences you've seen from last year coming into this year with Nick?
From last year to this year, I can see Nick truly growing, as a leader, as a play caller. We've added more volume to our offense, right? And it's basically on what our guys have been capable of doing. Offensive guys, there's a second time around, going through an install, learning. It's easier for those guys to get moving at a faster pace. And so the volume is up, guys are executing at a high level, and he's able to do more things, more creative things, and he's been studying all off season, been calling me, blowing my phone up, and I had to not answer him. I told him it's break time. I want some break time with my family, and he's still dialed in on football. So I'm excited to see Kaylee's growth and his process, as we all. Your first time calling plays, it's like any job you do, right? The more time on task, the more experience you get, the better you get at it, and he'll be much better this year.
The run game, what does it take to run the ball effectively? What do you think needs to be done for that to be executed?
Block well, run well. It's not that hard. It's a mindset when it comes to the run game. You got to play physical, right? O-line, starting with those guys, you got to be physical. You got to play with the proper hat placement. Your footwork has to be dialed in. It has to be right. The backs have to run great tracks. They have to know when to make the right decision with their cuts, with their vision, their reads. So it's a lot that goes into it, but not to overcomplicate it. You got to block the guys in front of you, and you got to run like you want to get every single yard that's out there.
Can you talk about the offensive line? There were a lot of obviously focus and attention on that with the offseason changes made. What are your, I don't want to say expectations, but what are your thoughts about that group, and what do you expect?
Our offensive line, I feel like we have a deep group. I feel like we have a lot of guys who are capable of going out and starting for us. We got a lot of guys with experience, and it's a good problem to have. For us, it's a matter of figuring out who that best 5 guys will be, right? And it's exciting for me to try to see guys in different positions, to see how it all gels together. And with the O-line, every year that I've been in ball, someone goes down, somebody has to step up and plug in. So the versatility that we have is unique as well. We have guys who can play multiple spots inside. We got tackles who can play on both sides. So I'm excited just as well as everyone is excited about how the O-line is going to shape out, because when we talk about the run game, how we can improve, it starts there. And I think we have the guys who can do it.
Would you say Will has picked up where he left off from the offseason program, Will?
Will has definitely picked up, disrupting plays left and right. So he's definitely wrecking havoc again, as he always does. And I can talk about Will all day, but his mindset, his approach, how intense he is on the field, you guys see it, but it's the same way in my meeting rooms. He's on the edge of his seat. He's locked in to every single word that I say in the meeting, and he's taking it to heart. It means a lot to Will. He's truly passionate. He cares a lot. He cares about seeing Houston be a successful franchise, and there's no guy that cares more than him, and I want all our guys to see how he operates every single day. I can highlight him every day because that's how I believe it should look when any job you're doing. Right, the passion that Will exudes about his love for the game and his love to continue to exceed and get better, I think we all can learn from it. I learn from it. You bring that passion and juice every day to what you do.
We talked previously about Jerry Shaplinsky when made him the quarterbacks coach. Since that time, his work with CJ, their collaboration, what have you seen from Jerry's coaching style, his impact with CJ?
Jerry's done a really good job that's his communication skills. He's done a great job of communicating with the quarterbacks, communicating with myself on, just the daily meeting structure, what they're doing, like very detailed coach. And I think you'll see that in our quarterbacks play this year. They're bonding. Jerry's done a great job. Even when he was working with those guys last year, he did a really great job. Jerry has a really cool demeanor about himself. He's been in the game for a long time, coached for a long time, coached a lot of great guys. And I just love his approach. I love his demeanor. It's never too high. It's never too low. It's exactly where he needs to be for those guys. And those quarterbacks can lean on Jerry at any given time for the support that they need.
Players have been really pushing for grass versus dirt. They saw it's possible in the stadiums. Do you have that conversation with your players? Are you asked about that by anybody in the building? What's your take on grass versus dirt?
Whatever's out there, grass or turf, whatever we play on, I'm happy I don't make those decisions. So we'll play fast on whatever it is, grass or turf. We just need to play fast. Go ahead, bud. I expect our tight ends to play much better this year, starting with our coach, James Ferentz, passionate coach, guy who's played the game for 10 years. He brings that energy, brings that passion, knowing what it's like as a player, right? And he's done a great job pouring into those guys. Kaylee's working with the tight ends as well. And the group, we have a really deep group. I mean, we have 6, 7 guys there who can go play for us. So that's the exciting part about it. All different guys. When you talk about passing game, blocking game, we got a plethora of guys who should allow us to do some cool things when it comes to 12, 13 personnel. So I'm excited to see our usage and how guys, just thrive in camp, see what they do well, and see how we can use them to our advantage in our offense. Always. I love Brevin. I'm always excited to see Brevin out on the field. Brevin never has a bad day. So just knowing what he's been through as a player, the difficult spots, the hardships that he's went through, and with the injuries, to see him back on the field rolling, it's always a fun sight to see for me.
We'll close with DJ now. One question. Going into year 4, what's the biggest difference for you as a coach, and what's been the biggest learning lesson for you as a coach?
Great question. Biggest difference for me, as a head coach is truly just leaning on my assistants more, understanding that, man, we're all in this together. I got great people who work around me, and I don't have to do it all. Right? And I can truly lean on our guys, truly assist our coaches as best as I can and just be more open to moving around, working with our entire team. So that's a little more freedom, I would say, as the fourth-year head coach of doing it. The guys have done a great job in all phases, being able to sit in different meetings, offense, defense, special teams, just being able to move around. And it's been a cool growth process for me, just learning that you can less is more at times, and that's what I'm learning most.
Rico, obviously you're just getting started, but you've got to feel really good about the free agency acquisitions and the draft picks you got, and the potential of getting you to where you get over the hump and making the championship and Super Bowl this year.
Getting us there right now, huh? No, it's definitely positive. Yeah, we're excited about the guys that we've added to our team. Each year you have to build a team each and every year, right? So we'll see how this team gels, how this team comes together, and it's always, in my mind, it's always a goal of coming together to do something special, right? And how quickly can we bond, how quickly can we grow throughout camp, and we'll see how far we can take it. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Will, when it comes to building each year for you, what do you do each year? What do you do this year to try to get a little bit better? And you already talked about the contract doesn't change something for you, but just in terms of football itself, how do you try to get better?
Yeah, most definitely. I think OTAs is a very important part of the process. You talk about coming back in after a season. I think Coach Rod and I think D'Amico, with his processes of helping his players get better, is taking them through a pro-grow. And so sitting down with Coach Rod, going through my pro-grow of finishing at the top of the rush, bending, taking the ball, like that's something that, during this offseason I really worked on, bending more, bringing that trail arm, not letting it get stuck and finishing on the quarterback. So just as far as like continuing to grow my game, those are the areas where, I've been practicing that and, helping it show up.
Well, ever since the World Cup, a lot of players have pushed for grass in their stadiums. Do you have a preference? Do you ever bring that to anybody's attention of what you like?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Oh, most definitely it is. I would most definitely say grass. Grass 100%. I think it's just the natural feel of grass, your feet not getting stuck in the ground like in turf. I mean, I had 2 high ankle sprains up in MetLife because of the turf, and I think grass is just a better option, honestly.
Do you talk to anybody here about that?
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to them. They'll figure it out, but, just control what you can control, go out there and play and do your job.
Will, what goes into getting better when you're not on the field? How important is the weight room aspect? How important is the field room aspect of prepare for the season?
Oh, it's very important. I think, I've been talking about the process a lot. People only think the process is on the field, but in order to get to the destination that you want to get to on the field, it's off the field stuff. So it's watching film, taking care of your body. So those little things, those little small details that will make the process go. You can't get to the destination unless you're taking time and watching film, or you're taking care of your body, getting in the weight room, getting bigger, getting stronger, getting faster, improving in areas like, for instance, like upper body was something that I really wanted to try to continue to grow in my game. And this offseason, that's something I really focus on is my upper body. So like, those are the little things that's very important to the process of getting you out here on the field and being at your best.
Will, do you guys begin this camp with Super Bowl expectations, and how can this camp lay the foundation for however high your expectations are for this team?
Yeah, most definitely. Coach talked about putting a bull on the ring. That's something that we're striving for, something that's never been done in this city. They bring something special back to this city, and I think everybody's aware of that. I was just talking about telling the guys yesterday the seriousness of what we're trying to accomplish here, man. Like, be a part of it. Like, you're here for a reason. And I think the expectation is like nobody outside of this building is going to have a higher expectation than what we have in this building. But I think we did a really great job of laying the foundation of who we want to be as a team, what we want to accomplish as a team, and Swarm is our foundation. So like I say all the time, it's like when everything goes wrong or we're not doing this, that, we have a foundation to lean back on. And I think that's why we've been able to be so successful, my 4 years of being here, because D'Amico has did a really good job of laying the foundation down.
Last year, your parents talked about evolution for you. You even, took that word on yourself as far as evolution. Year 4 for Will Anderson will be what?
Year 4, man, I guess just to continue to just wreak havoc in all phases of the game. But I think one thing that I really want to step up on, and it's something I wrote down on my goal sheet, is just becoming a better leader. Better chance of just connecting with the guys and really, being more vocal and really, being hands-on with the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like really like taking the young guys under my wing. And Caden has been a great addition to our room because it's given me that time to really like have a rookie. Like I've had a rookie, but like he's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? He's a high draft round pick. I mean, he's a high draft pick, and they expect him to come in and play. So it's my due diligence to help him out and help him reach every goal that he wants and show him the way. But he has Sheldon, he has D Hunt, so he has a whole bunch of guys that help him. But I think that's just one area that I want to evolve in, is just being a really great leader.
How's your role as a leader different than maybe it was last year? Because often your defensive line, we talk about that being your role.
I think that's the thing. It's just like not just worrying about the defensive line, but the whole team in that aspect. Like not just speaking up when it's time to speak up in the defensive line, but speaking up in team meetings, speaking up when we're out here on the field, speaking up when we're doing team periods. Like, hey, let's take a pause. So just things like that.
Being a leader, do you think by leading and helping to teach, it can help you even improve yourself?
Oh, of course. I think that's the thing about leadership. Leadership, you're always learning something every day. You're always growing every day because within leadership, you're learning so much about yourself because of the people that you have to deal with, and they're helping you learn about yourself because everybody's different and everybody requires a different type of leadership.
You've been able to add more and more to your game. This year, how much will Matt Burke be able to utilize your skill set?
Yeah, I've been on him a little bit. I was like, Coach, what we got every day, every time I say, what we got. But I think that's the great thing about this defense because we have so many great players and we can do so many great things with this defense and change the looks up so much. It allows everybody to have a different play or a different thing. And I think that's where we really thrive in. It's like, hey, we got Will, we got Daniil, we got Sheldon, we got Kamar, we got Steen, we got Aziz. All these guys can do different things. So different packages, all that type of stuff come into place when helping all of us succeed.
When it comes to CJ, you guys came in together and you've had successes together. What advice do you give to CJ as you compartmentalize, or he does, contract versus on the field and just kind of like stay the course? What do you do as far as a friend, as a teammate, to kind of give him some advice on this? Or what would you say?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think CJ does a really good job, man. Obviously, we have a very similar mindset. And CJ's a big guy, and I really don't even have to tell him this, but we do talk about it. It's just like, man, control what you can control. And I think he's been doing a great job of that. He controls going out there on the field, playing his best ball, helping his team win a lot of games, and that's what he's been doing. That's what he's going to continue to do. And everything else is up to God. He's faith-based, I'm faith-based, and we know we put our trust in God, let him handle the rest, and we'll get the results that we want. So it's not about man, it's not about anybody else, but how we're going about our everyday process. And I think he's been doing a hell of a job this offseason about going through his everyday process, leading the offense, leading the guys in the locker room, and getting everybody, on board with what we got going on here.
4 years into the league, how does it feel to you when you hear younger players as far as high school and some even college say, I want to be like Will Anderson Jr.?
It's kind of crazy. I was just talking to Rank on the sideline. I was like, dang, bro, I'm really going into year 4. I'm old. And he was like, bro, you're not old, but, man, it's special just because, like, I was walking out on the field and I was like, man, like, look at all the hard work that you put in. I never thought I would be here, but enjoying the process, enjoying the ride, and, like, knowing that deep down inside my purpose is to be an inspiration and to be a positive influence on my community and on the younger, community to show, like, man, like, this is how you're supposed to do it, because I had guys to show me how I'm supposed to do it. So it makes me feel good because I want to walk in my purpose, and I'm really big in my faith. So that's something that, I take serious, is walking in my purpose and helping the younger generation.
Since you are LeBron's 4th child, we haven't talked to you. How do you feel
Are we done?
How do you feel about him going to Philly?
Man, I got a chance to catch up with him, man, and it's exciting. I'm excited for him. Hopefully he do big things there. I know they got a great squad, and I can't wait to watch him do his thing there. Guardian cap?
Guardian cap, yeah.
Oh, I've been had a Guardian cap. Yeah. They just put it on my helmet, man.
You talk about improving this season, and you talk about the things that you do outside of the game on the field. What are your personal goals this year? What are you shooting for that you want to accomplish? You want to go out and make defensive player of the year?
Enjoy the process. That's my goal, man. I'm not even trying to be smart, but, like, I think when you start to look at the outside factors too early, like right now in training camp, I'm not really looking at any of those things. Like, I'm worried about, like, how am I showing up in the run game? How am I showing up in the pass game? How am I showing up being a leader? And then once those things come into place after training camp, then I start building my goals. But I kind of, like, try to focus in on everything during training camp, make sure I'm getting my body right, and then that's when I set my goals.
Will, a lot of defensive questions today. What do you guys need from your offensive counterparts to really take this step to reach the Super Bowl?
what we need from not just them, but what we need from the whole team is to everybody buy in, everybody be detailed in their assignments and their jobs and their responsibilities. It's not just one side of the ball. It's just not offense. It's us as a team. We go as we all go. So when we get to these big games, everybody needs to execute better. Everybody has to be detailed, and everybody has to lock into a certain level of focus to help us win these games. Good. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
What's up?
How y'all doing?
Nick said earlier today that he's had good conversations with David about a potential deal. How does that perhaps make you feel? What do you think about that? Then I got a second quick question after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, everything has been great. I'm focused on ball, trying to do what trying to just hold my bargain down on just the football side and do what I can, and what I should be doing as a quarterback of this team. So I'm letting them handle it, and it seems like everything is going great.
Maybe you just answered it, but how do you balance, keeping that and not allowing the pressure of that influence what you're trying to do on the field?
Yeah, I think pressure is part of my job, so that's just something I think is part of the gig and something that I'm not, naive to, but also I've learned you got to keep the main thing, and, just focus on one day at a time, one play, and the football is what's got me to even having the conversation to be able to get a second contract, so I got to focus on football.
Is there a point here in the preseason where you would no longer want to hear about that or talk about that?
Not really. I mean, I'm leaving that to David. I don't really have that answer for you, so.
CJ, people talk a lot about your teammates, how much they seem to just grow from last season and this season, the offseason and growth. Can you talk about where you are and how you feel going into this fourth training camp?
Yeah, I feel great. I think I've taken steps in the off season of like what it looks like to be, you know, if you're going to be in one place, multiple places, whatever it is, you got to get the work done. So I think I've been able to do that. And yeah, I've grown as a man. I've grown in my faith. I've grown in, you know, my football ability. So I think I'm taking strides just as a person.
The strides y'all made over the last 3 years, what are your expectations for this team as you start another camp?
The expectation is just to take one day at a time, one play at a time, and then see where we are at the end of camp.
When it comes to compartmentalizing, like Jonathan was talking about, Miko Ryans was just saying how the work takes care of itself, what you do on the field, you earn the contracts. Is that kind of the approach to say that it will take care of itself as long as you play well and do everything you're supposed to do? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think, you know, what I've done is what I've done on the field, and what I will do, you know, we'll see. So I think, you know, I've had some success, and I think, you know, I'll continue to have success as a quarterback in this league. So I'm excited for the future, you know, and past all the contract stuff. I love playing football.
The X and O's second year with Nick Cater, what have you seen as far as some of the adjustments that have been made, and especially some of them that cater to you specifically?
Yeah, I think, you know, last year was, you know, kind of just getting the foundation of the system down, and now, you know, I think a step for him and I is just to take the step on what I like to do on in and out plays and how I see the game, on flow of the game, on, you know, different downs and distances. So I think we'll be able to do that this offseason, but we took strides in OTAs, and we continue to do such.
How much have you asked me from your running back position? What are you looking forward to from your running back position?
I think just playmakers, guys who, you know, can take care of the ball, have explosive plays, and, you know, help in pass protection. And I think, you know, we have the guys to do it.
A lot of guys say you've had your best offseason, big, the Miko teammates. What have you done or not choose not to do this offseason that's allowed that to be your best in your career?
I don't know. I think I've been kind of consistent. Just, I don't know. I feel like when I was coming off my rookie year, it was my first offseason, so I really didn't know what to do. Second one, you're trying to tailor it to like exactly what that looks like, and then this last one is like, okay, I have an idea. So I think anything in life, it just takes time, but I think I just was consistent the whole time, and you know, just focused on me and, you know, getting better as my faith, my family, and then with football.
Having said that, once you evaluated, you know, last season, and then you take the off season to work and improve, what did you work on during the summer in order to come back this season?
Faith, family, football. there's little things in there, but that was mostly the big things.
If you can elaborate a little bit more as far as maybe some specifics, talking football, things that you saw yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, maybe I should do this better, or this is where I want to improve on to be able to, you know, get some more wins.
I think I'll probably keep that to myself. But there's a bunch of things that I worked on, pocket movement, a bunch of different things like that.
Now, particularly when you come into the line of scrimmage, your pre-snap reads, and how do you think you're seeing it now? Is it sort of like doing this, or has your iris sort of focused and tightened up that you can anticipate some things more now?
Yeah, I think I've always kind of been talented in that area, so I don't think I really had an issue in that. But I think I can grow always, so I mean, I see myself getting better at it, and just, you know, getting the guys lined up and in the right position to make plays. Yeah, I think, you know, we brought in some guys who want to win, you know, who have experience in the playoff, have experience in, you know, big games. So I think they're going to come in and help, and I think, you know, we have a better roster than we even did last year. So I'm excited to, you know, get going with these guys. I expect him to, you know, be a dominant force, you know, a guy who can, you know, make plays first, second, and third levels. And I think, you know, he's gotten better. I think he's learning, and he's listening more and wanting to, you know, take steps on where he can grow past just, you know, the things that he's already good at.
Organization's made a lot of changes with the offensive line in the years since you've been here. They seem to have been really focused on it this offseason. What have you seen different up front, and are you excited about what's happening in front of you?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think there's a lot of experience up there. I think it's something that, I'm comfortable, and I'm happy with, the moves we made. So I'm excited to, get some guys up there who, want to, do everything and, want to be running the football, pass protection, everything.
Last week, DJ Jonathan and Sorry.
You talk that you've gotten leaner, and it's pretty apparent that you've gotten leaner. How do you think that's going to overall help your overall game, just being leaner and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think just quickness, maybe running the ball, getting out the pocket, extending plays.
How have you been able to grow a relationship with David Montgomery, and what has that relationship been like?
Yeah, it's been great. He's a great guy, somebody who's played a lot of meaningful ball, who wants to do everything that we ask him to do. So got to spend a lot of time with him this offseason, and funny dude, great guy, great locker room guy. So excited to get rolling with him.
This is your first offseason without Stroud. What was it like, the process of having to say goodbye, and how confident are you in Jerry pulling that away?
Yeah, it was tough. Gerard has been, in my life since I was 16, and then was in my career since I started in the NFL. So very talented, very talented coach, somebody who's played the game, who sees it well, who really helped me, did a great job. And, I think, he's going to do amazing things in his career. I see him being a top offensive coordinator in this league one day, and, God willing, a great head coach, because he has that type of mindset, and just his ability to see the field and the game, and help the quarterback. But then Jerry's come in. He's more of a system guy, somebody who is been in the system a long time, who's really helped me in that area. And I think he's been great. Somebody who communicates very well, and has done a great job. Trying to figure out who I am as a person, and then who I am on the field.
Nick told us this morning that we won't get a chance to see Tank early on as far as practicing on the field. As one of his closest friends, what have you seen from him as far as his, coming back, what he's been doing in the offseason to be able to get himself prepared to come back to training?
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's close to returning, and it looks great. I think he's just getting some of those kinks out. Some of those little details that he wants to feel a little better in. But I think he looks amazing, and I'm just excited for him to to get the peace of mind that he can go play again and be 100% while he's doing it. All right, y'all.